Items are the most important part of any Mario Kart race. So once again, I am asking myself, can I beat Mario Kart World without grabbing any items? If you haven't already, go watch this video to see me do this on the first 4 cups. Today, we will be doing this challenge on the last 4 cups. And the goal is to get first place in every race against hard CPUs. Starting on Peach Beach, you can avoid the first item set by driving in the grass around it. You can also do that for the second set, and then on the third set, you can drive around the area between the wall and the leftmost item box. Coming up to the next set, you can't take the left box cut, but what you can do is go down to the items and go between the left item and the wall, skipping them. The rest of the track is easy as you drive in open water and can go around the items here, and by drafting the CPU, I was able to finish first, completing Peach Beach. Moving on to Salty Speedway, here you can use this trick in the water to get above the items and jump over them. For the next set, if you take the bottom path, you can maneuver past the items very easily. And if you take the top route, it's even easier as there's only one set of double items here. For the final set, if you take the top route, you can easily go to the left or right of the glider and avoid the items. And if you go the bottom path, you can charge jump on the wall to avoid these items. And after repeating these strategies on laps 2 and 3, I was easily able to get first place. Starting on Dino Jungle, the CPU knocked me into the item box, but you can avoid it by going to the right. On the second set, you can easily maneuver left of the double box, and then drive to the right around the last set. Then I repeat those strategies on laps 2 and 3 to get an easy first place. Let's move on. On Great Question Block Ruins, you can start by drifting in the off-road to avoid the first set. At the second set, I tried riding the wall to avoid them, but then I got flung off the map. So instead, I drifted into the wall and barely avoided them. And coming up on the last set, I went for the famous Great Question Block Ruins shortcut to skip the items, getting another easy first place. Starting on the Leaf Cup, you can easily drive around the left or right side of the first set in Cheap Falls. Coming up to the waterfall item set, you can easily drive onto the wall and trick over the boxes. And at the last set, you can easily maneuver between the left box and the wall to skip the items. And after repeating those strategies on laps 2 and 3 against the water currents, I was able to get first place. Moving on to Dandelion Depths, you can go in the off-road to avoid the first set, the off-road again to dodge the second set, and then around the items using the water at the last set. Now the first time I did this, I ended up getting second place, but trying again and using all 3 strategies, I was easily able to get first place. Moving on to Boo Cinema, you can easily drive around the first item set. Next, you can drive on the edge of the track to avoid the second item set, but the issue arises once you get to the last set. The first thing I tried to do was jump off the edge, and it did work as I respawned after the boxes, but it put me far behind the CPUs. The next thing I did was jump on the left rail to avoid the boxes, but I got one anyway. I even tried the trick where I go behind the CPU when they grab the box to avoid it, and while that will work, I wanted to try something else. I ultimately decided to jump on the left rail to avoid the boxes, and while it would work, it would make me lose a few seconds every lap, so I had to be quick. And after a lucky blue shell got the Luigi CPU on lap 3, I was able to do the shortcut and get first place. How lucky. Moving on to the last track of the Leaf Cup, you can easily dodge the first item by going to the left. Once you make it to these sets of items on the ramp, you can go off the top one to the right to be able to skip both of them. On lap 2, I realized that you can do a precise hop over the items to be able to stay on the top ramp and keep your speed. And then after the glider, you can jump on the wall and then the rail to avoid the final set. And by doing all of that, again, I easily got first place. Starting off the Lightning Cup on Moo Meadows, you can easily just drive around the boxes or trick off the fence like I did. The second set is in open grass, so you can easily drive around it, and you can do the same skip for the third set. There's not much more to say about this track, so let's move on. On Chocolate Mountain, you can drive in the mud to avoid the first set, and you can do that same thing for the second set. And onto the last set you are blocked, but you can just trick onto the wall and skip the items. And after getting blue shelled on lap 3, I was able to redo it and get first place. Starting on Toad's Factory, you can charge jump onto the wall and then jump over the item boxes. Right after that, this long hallway is filled with item boxes on the left or right side, but as long as you stay in the middle, you'll avoid them. When you come outside, you'll see item boxes moving across these conveyor belts, but as long as you swerve to the left and right, you can easily avoid them. Coming up to the last set, you can once again charge jump onto the wall and trick over them. And after repeating these charge jump wall rides and swerving around the item boxes on laps 2 and 3, I was able to get first place. On Bowser's Castle, you can take the left or right rail to get to the top of the map to avoid the first set, and then just drive to the left or right of the items and get past them. If you want a faster route, you can charge jump onto this side rail to avoid the first set and still get on the rail for the shortcut. On the next set, you can charge jump onto the wall here and then trick off to skip the items. The only way to dodge the last set is to jump off the track and respawn, but due to this area of the track's boost properties, you'll speed up quickly. And by following those strategies on laps 2 and 3, I was easily able to get first place. Starting the special cup with Acorn Heights, if you go to the left and get in the off-road, you can avoid the first set. Coming up on the next set, if you trick off this first rail and then right trick as soon as you land, you'll be able to activate the glider but skip the item. For the last set, you can just do one of the ending shortcut variations or just drive around it like I did. And by repeating those strategies, you'll easily get first place. On Mario Circuit, you can just drive in the off-road around the items here. You can also do that here. When you get to the next set, you can just drive to the right and go around the items here. And again, use the off-road to skip them here. And do that here. And then the rest of the track is just continuing to go in the off-road around the items. So let's just move on. Starting on Rainbow Road, you can jump off the map and use a respawn shortcut to skip the first set. Next, you can do a precise edge trick to skip the next set. After that, you can do a left or right trick at the edge of the track to skip the next set, and then just drive around the item set at the end of lap 1. On lap 2, if you take the left ramp going up and then trick off it to the right, you'll be able to skip this set. On the set before the glider, you can just go to the left or right to skip that one. After the glider, you can just go to the left or right in the off-road to skip the next set. In the space station, you can use a charge dump to jump the gap and skip this set, and then just drive to the right around this set. Going into the final lap, you can drive to the left to get around this set. You can drive to the right to get around this one. And finally, you can jump off the edge to avoid the final set on Rainbow Road. And with that, I was able to get first place in every single track on Mario Kart World without using items. If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what challenge you want to see me do next.